I'm a 25-year-old woman who faced danger from my brother-in-law and his accomplices. Even my sister got caught in their scheme. With courage, determination, and help from the police, I exposed the truth. In the end, I survived, reclaimed my safety, and chose my own freedom. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe. Get ready for real emotional and thrilling stories from Black adults that will keep you hooked till the end. I've always believed that danger makes a sound before it arrives, sometimes a whisper, sometimes a vibration in your chest that warns you a few seconds before the world changes. That night, mine came in the form of footsteps behind me. Not fast, not loud. Slow, measured. Intentional. It was 11:46 p.m. I remember the time clearly because I kept checking my phone, hoping for a signal that refused to appear. Brooklyn wasn't new to late-night noise, but this felt different. The street lamps were flickering, the wind carried a metallic chill. And for the first time in years, I felt genuinely unsafe walking up the stairs to my building. My name is Emily Carter. I'm 25, and until that moment, I thought I knew what fear felt like. I was wrong. When the footsteps grew closer, I froze halfway up the stairs and slowly turned around. A tall shadow separated itself from the darkness. My heart dropped before my mind even recognized him. Jason, my older brother. The person I trusted most when I was little, and the one who scared me the most now. Emily, he said quietly, too quietly. You've been avoiding me. My mouth went dry. It's late, Jason. What are you doing here? He walked up a step, then another, keeping his eyes on me the entire time. His expression didn't show anger, something about that made everything 10 times worse. You were answering my calls, he said. Because I've been busy, I replied, forcing calm into my voice. His eyes narrowed as if the word busy offended him. Busy doing what? Talking about me? Asking questions about things that don't concern you? My pulse hammered. He knew. Somehow he already knew. Earlier that week, someone at work had shown me a leaked document, names, bank transfers, and a list of people being scammed by a fake charity fund. Jason's name wasn't just on the list. It was all over it. I didn't want to believe it. Not Jason, not my own brother. So yes, I had asked questions. Quietly, carefully, and apparently not quietly enough. I don't know what you're talking about, I said. That was a lie. He knew it, and I knew it. Jason took the last step and stood right in front of me. He smelled like expensive cologne mixed with something burnt. Something sharp. His jaw clenched as he looked at me, and for a moment, I saw the brother I grew up with, the one who used to protect me. But that brother was gone. Whatever stood in front of me now was unpredictable, dangerous, and angry. You're going to stop, he said flatly. You're going to mind your own business. You're not smart enough to play detective. You're just going to get hurt. The sentence wasn't a warning. It was a threat. My stomach twisted. My hand slowly reached toward my purse, not for a weapon, but for the small button inside that activated my phone's emergency recorder. I kept my movements subtle, praying he wouldn't notice. Jason, listen, I whispered. I wasn't trying to. Before I could finish, he grabbed my wrist. Not hard, but firm enough to tell me he wasn't there to talk. Your family, he said, his voice strangely calm. And families stay quiet. They don't ask questions. They don't betray each other. The word betray cut through the night air like a knife. I swallowed. I didn't betray you. He leaned closer. Not yet. My breath shook as he released my wrist. I took a small step back, but he didn't move, not an inch. He stood there, blocking the stairs, blocking my way home, blocking my safety. You need to stop digging around, he said. Some things aren't meant for you. I forced myself to meet his eyes. Are you threatening me? He smiled. A slow, cold smile that didn't reach his eyes. I'm reminding you, he said softly, of how easily things can go wrong. A car honked in the distance, and for a split second, his eyes darted toward the street. I took that moment and slipped past him. My hands were trembling so hard that I nearly dropped my keys as I unlocked the building door. Before I stepped inside, I turned once more. Jason stood where I had left him, silent, unmoving, staring at me like a storm waiting for the right moment to strike. You can't hide from me, Emily, he said quietly. Family is everywhere. And then he disappeared into the shadows. The door shut behind me with a final echoing click. I locked it, leaned my back against it, and let myself finally breathe. That night, locked it, leaned my back against night, let my back against it, and let my back against it, and let myself finally breathe. I understood something terrifying. Jason wasn't just in trouble. He was creating it. And now he saw me as part of the problem. I didn't know it yet, but this was just the beginning. The night everything shifted. The moment I stepped into my apartment. I locked the door twice, once out of habit and the second time out of fear. My hands were still trembling from my encounter with Jason. For a long moment, I just stood there in the hallway trying to breathe, trying to understand how everything had changed in just a few minutes. The air inside my apartment felt different, heavy, thick, as if the walls themselves knew something terrible had unfolded outside. I tossed my keys onto the counter, but they slipped from my shaking fingers and clattered onto the floor. I closed my eyes, forcing myself to steady my breathing. I wasn't someone who's scared easily. I grew up in Brooklyn, and danger wasn't new to me. But danger from a stranger was one thing. Danger from blood was another. Jason's words echoed in my mind. You're not smart enough to play detective. You're just going to get hurt. I rubbed my wrist where he had held me. Even though he hadn't squeezed hard, the coolness in his touch lingered. I needed answers. And I needed them now. I went to my bedroom and pulled my laptop from under the bed. It was old but reliable, my personal safe space where I stored everything from school papers to tax documents. I opened it, sat on the edge of my bed, and waited for it to load. My phone buzzed, making me jump. A message from an unknown number. Stop asking questions. My stomach dropped. Jason had eyes everywhere. He proved that tonight. I put the phone face down, refusing to let the fear take control. I clicked open a folder labeled Notes, where I had saved the documents I'd been given earlier that week, the leaked financial sheets tied to a fake charity fund called Bright Path Community Relief. On the surface, it looked clean: donations, community help, outreach programs. But the deeper I looked, the darker it became. Money in, money out, money missing. Money appears under new accounts. And in the corner of every spreadsheet was a name written over and over again: Jay Carter, Jason Carter. My brother. But tonight wasn't about the documents. I needed to understand why he confronted me so aggressively. What did he think I knew? More importantly, what didn't I know? That's when I remembered. My phone. When Jason grabbed my wrist, I had already pressed the emergency recording button. I didn't know how much it caught, but anything was better than nothing. I opened the audio file. For the first 30 seconds, all I heard was my own shaky breathing and our footsteps on the metal stairs. Then Jason's voice cut through the silence. You think you can look into my business and walk away? My heart clenched. Hearing it again, hearing the coldness, was worse than experiencing it the first time. And then another voice entered the audio, a voice I hadn't heard in months. Lisa. Jason, single quotes, as girlfriend. Or maybe partner. In much more than I ever imagined. Lisa, she knows too much. I told you this would happen. Jason, she won't talk. She's scared. Lisa, fear doesn't last. We need something stronger. The file crackled. More footsteps. A beat of dead air. Then Jason's whisper: if she opens her mouth, we'll take care of it. A ringing started in my ears. My breath hitched. Take care of it didn't sound like a warning. It sounded like a plan. I paused the recording, unable to listen further. My hands were cold. My throat felt tight. In all the years I'd known Lisa, I had never seen her as anything more than controlling and jealous, not dangerous. Not cruel. I pressed play again. Lisa, you should have handled her sooner. Jason, I'll handle her when the time comes. She's not going anywhere. Another pause. Then Lisa again, her voice colder this time. Just remember, family or not, loose ends need to disappear. I stopped breathing. Loose ends. Disappear. They weren't just threatening me. They were planning something. A wave of nausea hit me. Strong Lithati had to stand up. I paced across the room, grabbed the back of a chair to steady myself, and tried to think clearly through the panic. Jason wasn't scared of being caught. He was scared of me. Because I knew enough to destroy everything he and Lisa were involved in, and maybe the people supporting them, too. I shut my laptop and swallowed hard. I couldn't go to the police yet, not without more proof. Jason had connections. He could twist things. He always did, but I wasn't going to sit still and wait for something to happen. I needed to protect myself. I needed to keep recording. I needed to stay awake. And most of all, I needed to stay alive long enough to expose Jason and whatever dangerous world he had stepped into. Tonight, I learned something terrifying. Jason wasn't alone. He wasn't scared. He wasn't sorry, and now, he wasn't finished with me. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard Jason's voice again, calm, cold, and threatening. Loose ends need to disappear. The words stayed with me like they were pinned to the walls of my apartment by sunrise. My eyes were dry, my head hurt, and my nerves were stretched thin. I sat on the living room floor with a blanket around my shoulders, staring at the paused audio file on my laptop. The recording was proof, but not enough. I needed more. Something the police couldn't ignore. Something Jason couldn't twist into another misunderstanding. Around 7 a.m., I forced myself to get up and shower, even though my legs felt shaky. I had work in 2 hours. I couldn't let anyone know anything was wrong. The last thing I needed was Jason sensing fear. When I opened my door to leave, the hallway was quieter than usual. No neighbors talking, no music playing from behind doors. Just silence. Too much silence. I locked the door behind me and walked toward the elevator. Halfway down the hallway, I felt a prickling sensation like someone was watching me. I didn't turn around at first. I forced myself to keep walking, pretending everything was normal. But the feeling grew stronger, heavier, like a weight pressing on my shoulders. When the elevator dinged, I finally glanced back. A man stood at the end of the hallway, tall, black jacket. Baseball cap pulled low. Hands in pockets. He wasn't a neighbor. I knew everyone on my floor. And he wasn't pretending to be casual. He wasn't pretending anything at all. He was staring straight at me. My fingertips went numb. The elevator doors opened behind me. But I stayed frozen. The man didn't move. He didn't smile. He didn't look away. He just stood there like he was waiting for a signal. A signal from who? Jason? The thought hit me so suddenly that I stumbled backwards, accidentally bumping into the elevator wall. The doors closed in front of me, trapping me in a small metal box with my shaking breath and pounding heart as the elevator descended. I pressed my hands against my face and tried to stop the panic rising inside me. Maybe he was just a delivery guy. Maybe he was lost. Maybe I was imagining it, but deep down I knew better. Danger doesn't require confirmation. The body knows before the mind admits it. When the doors opened at the lobby, the security guard, Mr. Thompson, looked up from his desk. "You okay, Miss Carter?" he asked, noticing I was pale. I nodded. "Just tired." But he didn't look convinced. "You want me to call someone?" he asked. "Yes," I said before I could stop myself. "Actually, did anyone come into the building early this morning? Someone wearing a black jacket and a cap?" Mr. Thompson tapped the keyboard. "Not that I saw. Cameras didn't show anyone unusual." He frowned. "Why? Something wrong?" I hesitated. If Jason really had someone watching me, telling security could put Mr. Thompson in danger. I didn't want anyone else pulled into this. "No, it's nothing," I said quickly. "Probably just someone from another floor." He nodded, but I could tell he wasn't convinced. Outside, the morning air felt cold and sharp. I hugged my jacket tight as I walked toward the bus stop. I kept looking over my shoulder, but the streets seemed normal. People are going to work. Coffee shops stereopening. Cars passing by, but I didn't feel normal. I felt hunted. When I reached the stop, my phone buzzed again, another unknown number. Nice morning for a walk. My heart almost stopped. I spun around, scanning the street. Nothing. No familiar faces. No black jacket. No baseball cap. But someone had seen me leave the building. My fingers trembled so badly I nearly dropped the phone. I wanted to scream. Or cry or run. But instead I typed back one word. "Who?" The reply came instantly. "Doesn't matter. Just stay quiet." I stared at the screen, my chest tightening. This wasn't just Jason anymore. Someone else was involved. Someone watching. Someone close enough to see me leave my building. I tucked my phone into my pocket, breathed through the panic clawing at my chest, and got on the bus stop at work. I tried to act normally, but I couldn't concentrate. My coworkers talked, laughed, typed, but their voices felt distant, muffled. The only thing I could hear clearly was my own heartbeat. At lunch, I stepped into the bathroom and locked the stall door. My hands were shaking again. I reached into my bag and pulled out a small notebook, the one where I kept notes about the charity fund. I needed a plan. A real one. Not just fear and panic. I wrote 3 things. Gather more proof. Find someone I can trust. Stay alive until I can do both. As I stared at the list, my phone buzzed again. This time the message wasn't a text. It was a photo, a picture of me. Standing in the hallway of my apartment building this morning. I dropped the phone. The sound echoed in the bathroom, but I barely heard it. Whoever was watching me wasn't just following. They were inside my building. Inside my life, and closer than I ever imagined. Asterisk. The moment that photo appeared on my screen, a picture of me in the hallway. Taken from only a few feet away, my world tilted. The bathroom stall suddenly felt too small, too tight, like the walls were inching closer and closer. My breath caught in my throat. Someone had been right behind me this morning. Close enough to take a photo without me hearing a single sound. Close enough to watch. And wait, I bent down, grabbed my phone with shaking hands, and forced myself to look at the picture again. The angle was low, like the person stood near the floor or partially behind the stairwell corner. My face looked pale, startled, like I already knew something was wrong but hadn't realized how wrong. A new message came in. Stop digging. Last warning. A chill shot through my entire body. Last warning, this wasn't a joke. This wasn't paranoia. This was real. My hands were trembling so violently that he had to sit down. I locked the stall door again, even though I was already inside, because suddenly nothing felt safe. Not the bathroom. Not the office. Not my own home. Jason hadn't just threatened me, he put someone on me. Someone who knew where I lived when I left, and what floor I lived on. Someone who took photos quietly. I closed my eyes and counted to 5, trying to calm the pounding in my ears. When I opened them again, I knew what I had to do. I needed to tell someone. Someone who wouldn't judge me or dismiss me. Naomi, my best friend since high school. The one person who always believed in me, even when no one else did. I texted her immediately. I need to see you. It's serious, she responded instantly. Where? I'm on break. I typed, meet me at the park across from my office. 15 minutes. I slipped my phone into my pocket and splashed water on my face to hide the panic. When I stepped out of the bathroom, I kept my head down and hurried outside. The park was small, with a few benches scattered around and a fountain in the middle. I chose a bench with a clear view in every direction. I didn't want anyone behind me again. Naomi arrived running, her curly hair bouncing, worry already etched on her face. Emily, what happened? You look, oh my God, are you okay? I handed her my phone without speaking. She looked at the photo, then the messages, her face tightening with each second. This is bad, she whispered. I know. No, Em. This is really bad. She bit her lip. You need to go to the police. Right now. I don't have enough proof yet. Jason has connections. He can twist things. He always finds a way out. Naomi sat beside me, gripping my hand. You have to protect yourself. This is dangerous. I'm trying, I said, my voice cracking. But I don't know who to trust. Someone got inside my building. Someone was right behind me this morning. Naomi looked around, scanning the park. What if they followed you here? The thought made my stomach twist. I swallowed hard. Naomi, I need your help. I can't do this alone. You don't have to. She squeezed my hand. I'm with you, whatever you need. Her words steadied my heartbeat a little. But only a little. We talked for a few minutes, whispering, planning, trying to stay calm. Naomi suggested I stay at her place tonight. Somewhere Jason wouldn't look first. I started to agree. But then my phone buzzed again. Another message. I didn't want to look. Every time my phone vibrated now, fear shot straight into my spine. Naomi saw my hesitation and grabbed the phone herself. She read the message out loud. You're not alone as much as you think. She looked around the park again, her eyes widening. We need to leave now. I stood up quickly, my knees shaking. Naomi grabbed my arm and pulled me toward her car parked down the street. We walked fast, almost running, but trying not to draw attention. Halfway there, Naomi froze. Emily. She whispered. I followed her gaze. Across the street, leaning casually against a lamppost, was a man in a black jacket and baseball cap. The same build. The same clothes. The same silent presence from my hallway. He wasn't hiding. He wasn't pretending. He was watching me. Not Naomi, not the street. Me. Naomi whispered, "Get in the car. Don't look at him again. Just move." My throat tightened as we hurried to the car. My fingers fumbled with the door handle before I finally managed to open it. Naomi got in the driver's seat and locked the doors instantly. "Should I call the police?" she asked, already reaching for her phone. "No," I whispered. "Not yet. Emily, he followed you from your home to your job to this park." "I know. But if Jason sent him, the police won't be enough." Naomi started the car and sped off. My heart hammered so violently, but I pressed my hand to my chest to steady it as we turned the corner. I couldn't help glancing back through the rear window. The man hadn't moved. He was still standing exactly where he'd been. Watching, waiting, as if he knew this wasn't over, and deep down I knew it too. This was only the beginning. The walls were closing in and I was running out of places to hide. Asterisk, I didn't sleep that night. Every time I blinked, I saw Noah standing in the middle of my kitchen again, breathing like he owned the air in my lungs. His voice kept echoing in my mind. "You should have helped me." The guilt wasn't mine, but trauma doesn't wait for logic. It chooses your weakest moment and plants itself there. By morning, my hands were trembling so badly I could barely hold the coffee mug. Mia noticed as soon as she walked into the living room. "You didn't sleep," she said gently. "No," I admitted. Every sound felt like he was coming back. Nayo came closer and wrapped her arms around me. "You're safe here. He's not setting foot in this house." I wanted to believe her. I really did. But something deep inside told me this wasn't over. People like Noah didn't stop after one failed attempt. They regrouped, they waited, and they came back smarter. Before we left for the police station that morning, I grabbed my laptop. The same laptop that had been silently recording the night Noah attacked me. It felt like the only weapon I had, one that, surprisingly, I didn't even know was loaded until Detective Ramos pointed it out. At the station, Detective Ramos met us in one of the small interview rooms. She seemed calmer than yesterday, but there was a seriousness in her eyes that made my chest tighten. "Kim, I reviewed the full video. It's clear and strong evidence," she said. "But there's something else we need to talk about." My stomach nodded. "What did we miss something?" She nodded slowly and slid a printed screenshot across the table. My heart stopped. It was a frame from the footage. But not of the attack. It was a frame before the attack, a figure blurry, but unmistakably shorter and slimmer than Noah stood outside my apartment door. They were checking the hallway camera, covering it deliberately. Nia leaned forward. "That's not Noah." "Who is that?" Detective Ramos cleared her throat. "We believe it might be someone working with him. Maybe someone who helped him bypass the door lock." I felt cold all over, like ice water was running through my veins. Someone else was involved? I whispered. Double quotes, yes, and we need to find out who. My world, which was already falling apart, tilted again. I had always assumed it was just him. One threat. One attacker. One danger. But now? It was bigger, wider, more organic. Ramos continued. "Noah has been involved in several suspicious financial dealings. Our cyber team found connections between him and an unregistered investment group. We think he might be part of a larger scam operation." My breath shivered out. "What does that have to do with me?" Mia squeezed my arm. "Because you exposed his plans at dinner." Ramos nodded. "Exactly. You ruined a deal they were depending on. So they tried to scare you into staying quiet. But when you pushed back, things escalated." I stared at the table, feeling both sick and numb. So he didn't just attack me out of anger. He attacked me for business? "For control," Ramos said. "You were a threat." A threat. Just for refusing to sign a loan. Just for being smart enough to see through his lies. A sharp pain stabbed behind my eyes. "Detective, what are the chances this other person tries to come after me?" Ramos didn't sugarcoat it. "We're taking every precaution. But yes, there's a chance." My breath caught. Mia instantly wrapped an arm around me, grounding me. "Kim isn't staying alone," she said firmly. "She's with me. And we'll install cameras, alarms, whatever we need." Ramos nodded approvingly. Good, but Kim, there's one more thing. She slid another paper forward. A list of names, addresses, dates, phone numbers. What is this? I asked, confused. It's a record of transactions linked to Noah, also tied to your sister's financial accounts. My entire world shattered in that moment. No. My voice cracked. Emily? No, that's not possible. She couldn't, but deep inside, a memory hit me like a punch. Emily defends Noah at dinner. Emily insisted I was overreacting. Emily begged me to sign just this once. Mia felt me go still beside her. Kim, are you okay? I wasn't, not even close, Ramos said quietly. We aren't accusing her yet. But we need to confirm whether she knowingly participated or if Noah used her identity. My sister. My only sibling. The only family member who hugged me goodbye that night. My throat felt tight, my voice barely a whisper. Detective, if she's involved, I don't know if I can survive that. Ramos softened. One step at a time. Today, we focus on getting you safe and preparing for the next move. But all I heard was the pounding of my heart, because I suddenly realized something terrifying. Noah wasn't the only one who betrayed me. He wasn't the only one who wanted me silenced, and if my sister was part of this, then the danger wasn't just outside. It was personal. It was blood deep, and it was far from over. The drive back to Mia's house felt heavier than the night air. I watched the city pass by through the window. Streets I'd walked freely just days ago now looked like unfamiliar shadows. Every car behind us felt suspicious. Every pedestrian felt like a threat. Trauma has a way of repainting the entire world in darker shades. When we finally pulled into Mia's driveway, my nerves were stretched so tight they hummed. She touched my arm softly. Kim, breathe. You're safe here. I tried. But safety felt like a word that belonged to other people. Inside, Mia had already transformed her home into a fortress. New smart locks on the doors. Motion sensor lights outside. Security cameras. An alarm system waiting to be armed. I ordered everything last night, she explained. I wasn't taking chances. The gesture nearly broke me. Thank you, I whispered. We spent the afternoon with Detective Ramos over the phone, going over the blurry figure in the footage. She promised an enhanced version from their digital team by morning. My stomach churned with dread at the thought, off recognizing the face, but nothing prepared me for what happened that evening. It was just past 9 p.m. Mia had stepped into the laundry room, leaving me alone in the living room with my laptop open. I was staring at the list of transactions Detective Ramos gave me earlier, the ones linking Noah's schemes to my sister Emily. I kept hoping it was a mistake, a coincidence, a stolen identity, anything but what the evidence suggested. Then knock, a sharp, abrupt knocking on the front door. My heart jumped into my throat. Mia came rushing out, alarm already in her hand. Stay back, she whispered. She glanced at the door camera screen on her phone and froze. Her face went pale. It's Emily. My breath hitched. What? Here? Before I could react, Mia opened the door, but only the chain lock distance. Emily stood on the porch, hair messy, eyes swollen like she'd been crying for hours. Kim, please let me in. Her voice trembled. I didn't know where else to go. My entire body stiffened. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. Mia stepped protectively in front of me. This isn't a good time. Emily's gaze darted to me. Kim, please. Just hear me out. I am in trouble. Trouble. That word twisted something deep inside me. Let her in, I whispered before Mia could refuse again, very reluctantly. Mia undid the chain. Emily stepped inside as if afraid the floor might collapse beneath her feet. She looked at me the way someone looks at a fragile piece of glass that they bravely once. A sister's confession. Kim, she said, voice shaking. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. My arms folded instinctively. Didn't mean for what? For Noah to attack me? For my life to be turned upside down? Or for your financial records to show up in a criminal file? Emily flinched like I'd slapped her. I swear to you, I didn't know he was involved in anything illegal. Emily, the transactions. I didn't approve anything. She cried. I gave Noah access to my online banking because he said he wanted to help us manage better. I thought he was trying to be responsible. He kept telling me it was for us. For our future. I stared at her, trying to read the truth in her eyes. She looked broken. But guilt can break people too, she swallowed hard. Kim, he told me you signed the loan papers. He said everything was fine. Then, yesterday, he disappeared. His phone is off. His car isn't at home. I think he's running, my heart thudded painfully. Running? I whispered. Emily nodded, tears slipping down her cheeks. And I think someone is watching our house. Mia's eyes widened. What do you mean by watching? Emily gripped her arms, trembling. A black SUV has been parked down the street all day, and a man got out earlier. He just stood there, like he was waiting for something. Or someone. My skin prickled. Emily's voice cracked. I was scared he might be after me because of Noah's mess. So I came here. Mia exchanged a tense look with me. I stepped closer to my sister, searching her face. Emily, did you know about Noah's attack on me? She burst into sobs. No. I swear I didn't. When I found out, I confronted him. He said it was an argument that got out of hand. I didn't believe him. That's when I realized I didn't know who I married. I exhaled slowly. A part of me had wanted to hate her. Wanted it to be simple. But life isn't simple, and people are even less so. Kim, she whispered, I need your help, please. Mia stepped between us. Emily, if someone dangerous is following you, we need to call Detective Ramos right now. But before any of us could move, a loud crash echoed from outside. Like something or someone hitting this side of the house. Emily screamed. Mia grabbed her phone. My heart nearly stopped, and in that instant I knew whoever was after Noah was now after us too, and the night was just getting started. The crash outside sounded like a warning, sharp, heavy, deliberate. My heart lunged into my throat as the three of us huddled together in the living room. Frozen for a split second, Mia reacted first. Don't move, she whispered. Grabbing the baseball bat she kept behind the door. Her fingers trembled only slightly. Mia was terrified, but she was also brave in a way that kept me grounded. Emily clutched my arm tightly. Kim, what was that? I didn't answer. I couldn't. My mind was spinning, trying to connect the dots, trying to understand how my sister and I had ended up in the center of something so dangerous. I used to believe my life was predictable, safe, ordinary. Now someone was lurking outside a locked-down home, and everything felt like a crossroads I never wanted to reach. Mia pressed her phone to her ear. Detective Ramos? We need officers now. Someone's outside the house. I looked at the front door. For a moment, the world went quiet, too quiet. The kind of silence that comes before a storm. Then dash, another crash. Louder, closer. Emily buried her face in my shoulder. Kim, I'm scared. I know, I whispered, holding her tight. Me too. Mia motioned toward the back hallway. Both of you go to the guest room. Lock the door. Stay low. We moved quickly. My legs felt heavy, like I was dragging fear itself across the floor. The guest room was dim, lit only by the glow from the phone and Emily's shaking hands. When I locked the door behind us, the click felt like a small shield between us and whatever waited outside. Kim, Emily whispered, this is all my fault. I turned to her. No, Emily, Noah made the choices. Noah did the damage. Not you. But I trusted him, she cried. I let him into our lives. I believed him over you. Her voice cracked. I wasn't a good sister. Something inside me softened, not because she deserved forgiveness right away, but because I finally saw her fear, her regret, her humanity. She wasn't perfect. Neither was I, but she was here and she needed me. We'll figure this out together, I said quietly. But first, we survived tonight. The moment hung in the air. Fragile and real. Then footsteps echoed outside the house, slow, deliberate. Circling. My breath hitched. Whoever it is, Emily whispered. They're not here by accident. I knew she was right. The mystery figure in the recording. The SUV following her. Noah disappearing. It all pointed to one truth. There were people behind Noah, dangerous people. And now they wanted answers. Suddenly, the hallway alarm chimed. A door sensor. Someone was trying to get in. Emily gasped. I grabbed her hand and pulled her to the corner of the room, away from the window. Mia's voice shouted from down the hall. Police are on the way. Get off my property. Silence, footsteps, then a voicemail, low, sharp. We want the files. Hand them over and nobody gets hurt. He was talking about Noah's transaction files. The ones Detective Ramos had warned me about. The ones linking Noah to a criminal operation. Fear shot through me, cold and electric. Did they think I had everything? Did Noah tell them my name before he vanished? Emily trembled. Kim, what do we do? I squeezed her hand. We wait for the police. And we don't open that door for anyone. Her breathing grew faster. What if they break in? I steadied my voice. Then they'll find a locked door, a camera recording them, and sirens on the way. From the hallway, the man's voice curled through the air again. We know you're in here, Kim. My blood turned to ice. He knew my name. Emily's eyes widened. How does he? I didn't get to answer. Red and blue lights exploded outside the windows. Sirens. Car doors slamming. Shouts from officers. The intruder darted away the moment the police swarmed the porch. I heard a crash, maybe the fence, then running footsteps. Kim. Emily, Detective Ramos shouted from outside the guest room door. It's safe. He's gone. The moment we opened the door, my legs nearly gave out from relief. Officers moved through the house, clearing every corner. When Ramos reached me, she placed a steady hand on my shoulder. You did the right thing, she said. And we know exactly who that man is now. He's part of the scheme Noah was involved in. I swallowed. Was he going to kill us? Ramos didn't answer immediately. Let's just say, his intention wasn't good. Emily burst into tears. I wrapped my arms around her, both of us shaking. For the first time in days, I let myself cry, not out of fear, but out of exhaustion. Out of release. Out of knowing we had survived something that could have ended so differently. Ramos stepped back. Kim, we're issuing protective detail for you. And for your sister. Emily's voice cracked. What about Noah? We found him, Ramos said quietly. He was hiding in a motel outside town. He's in custody. My knees almost buckled. Not because of fear, because of closure. Finally, the nightmare was ending. 2 weeks later, sitting on a park bench under a sky painted gold and lavender, I opened my phone and scrolled through old text messages from my sister, from my past life, from the version of me who still believed danger couldn't touch her. I hit delete all. It felt like unclenching a fist I didn't know I'd been making. Emily sat beside me, her head resting gently on my shoulder. Are you okay? For the first time in a long time, I said softly. I think I am. She exhaled shakily. Thank you for giving me another chance. I turned to her. We both survived what should have broken us. So from now on, we protect each other. She nodded, tears in her eyes as the sun dipped behind the horizon. I finally understood something. Family isn't always about blood. Safety isn't always a place. And healing isn't always loud. Sometimes. Healing is choosing yourself even when fear tries to choose for you. That night, walking away from everything toxic and broken, I felt a quiet strength rising inside me. I'd survived the shadows. I had survived the betrayal. I had survived the night someone came looking for me. And now? Now I was done surviving. I was ready to live.